Welcome to Life is the Mission Church, where we break down the ologies and theologies from the scientific and philosophical and religious beliefs of each other, with respect. To talk about religions, one has a mandate to be honest and truthful about ourselves and each other. If you have questions, let's explore together. Your research and experience is respected here. Welcome back. We are in the midst of a quick overview of the 7 major religions and a few non-religious counterparts. If you missed our previous discussions, go back. Coming in at about 1/3 of the population, or a little less, we have Islam, the Muslim community. In this millennium, everyone should understand the tenets of Islam. Like the Hebrew Tanakh and the Gentile Bible, their Bible, the Quran, contains an account of one singular God creating earth and an ever-expanding universe. In the Quran's Garden of Eden account, both Adam and Eve acknowledge their bad decision and repent. The Creator then uses that situation to educate them on the evilness of Satan so they might warn future generations. They too have a great flood story, the birth of Yeshua, Jesus in Bethlehem, and many corresponding similarities to Judaism and Christianity. The Quran separates from the Hebrew Tanakh and the Christian Bible around the story of Abraham's first and second-born child, a son. According to all 3 sacred books, Ishmael was the first son born to the Abrahamic family and designated to lead the next generation. But Abraham gained that child in a hookup with a slave girl. This was done with the permission of his wife at the time, as she was infertile. Consider that. After the birth of this firstborn son, Ishmael, Abraham's aged wife was blessed with a son in her old age. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Abraham then believed that this miracle child, named Isaac, should supersede Ishmael as the full-blooded child of he and his wife, who would carry on the religion from there. The long-standing fighting between the Jews and the Muslims has to do with the lineage and family tree. You can see it there. 2 children who should gain the family birthright and carry on the religion. Of course, we must remember that Yeshua, Jesus, is said to be the offspring of David, and his love interest for that was Bathsheba. We all have to be very honest, as all 3 holy books teach the importance of passing on the seed through the male line. As you can imagine, this created a rift in the family, and that rift goes on to this day. Islam proclaims that from 610 to 632 AD, the angel Gabriel gave the great prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, revelation of the one God named Allah. Some note the very phonetically similar sounding name to the original Hebrew pronunciation of Elion, a common God title of Abrahamic Judaism. As many different oral recollections began to grow throughout the Islamic Empire, it became imperative for them to create a uniformity of beliefs. So from 644 to 656 AD, the Quran was recompiled for uniformity within the Arabic world. This was done very similar to Christians' First Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, in choosing which historical books and versions of those books should be in the Christian Bible and which should not. Understandably, nobody needs competing narratives in the same book. They understood the need for uniformity. Islam has fought the translation of the Quran into other languages, believing that only the Arabic language can adequately articulate the exact meaning. That's understandable. Their basic doctrine teaches that humankind is given a free choice and man should choose to repent of his evil. At this conversion point, that repenting individual is given forgiveness and then should walk daily in righteousness. Future moral failures must be accompanied by a confession of sin to remain in good standing with Allah. From the outside looking in, some would see this as a very similar religion to others. Notably, the Quran reveals the scientific understanding of the sperm and egg hundreds of years before science articulated it. Until the 1600s, Muslims led the world in science as the Quran clearly instructed them to look to the heavens and nature to understand God. Sadly, a time came that their leadership decided that secular science and the early Enlightenment period could encroach upon disagreement with their sacred text. One understands. The Islamic leadership declared a moratorium on their future developments in the sciences. As with other religions over the centuries, many Islamic governmental leaders misuse their sacred text for personal gain. Some say the Quran justifies the abuse of women, even to the beating of women into submission and submissive obedience. Having interviewed one modern female convert to Islam, she felt differently. Please note that almost every male-dominated religion has been accused of oppression of women, and in my estimation, rightly so. As with most religions, Islam is adamantly opposed to the freedom of religious expression of other religions within their dominated countries. The Islamic world is divided into the Sunnis and Shiites and the more militant fundamental versions of each. This Muslim division is compared to the breakage between the Catholic and the Orthodox fighting over the validity or need for an absolute papal authority. Here's how it went. Upon the death of their greatest prophet, peace be unto him, some insisted that Muhammad's father-in-law and great friend, Abu Bakr, be the leader. Those were called the Sunnis. Others preferred his cousin/son-in-law be the ultimate leader. These were called the Shiites. And let the battles begin. I have to be honest, if there was one thing that could turn my heart from any religion, would be their willingness to raise swords against each other. And that they did. In 1680 AD, Shiite leader Ali was killed by Sunni Muslims during a battle, and the battle has continued and continued and continued. The Middle East fighting between Sunnis and Shiites could be compared to the violent sectarian Catholic versus Protestant conflicts of Ireland from 1968 to 1998. If there's one thing we can say for all religions, their leaders are quick to send their pawns to be killed and to kill for the micromanaged politics of their religious leaders. Both groups uphold the absolute truth of the Quran and hold to Islam's 5 pillars: giving to the poor, daytime fasting during the month of Ramadan, 5 daily ritual prayers, taking at least 1 pilgrimage to Mecca, and profession that there is no other God but Allah, and Muhammad is his final prophet, peace be unto him. A quick reading of the Quran should give you a broader understanding, but like the Hebrew Tanakh or the Christian Bible, will most likely still require an imam, a mullah, or ayatollah, their word for pastor or rabbi, to explain a simple explanation of conversion. As in all the leading comparative religions, there is no single place where the sacred book gives a 3-sentence breakdown of what it takes to be fully vested in their religion. Any short explanation is a compilation of what later generations have come to articulate. Enough about Islam for today. Knowing our religions and winning the religion category on Jeopardy may be all secondary to someone around you who is hurting. Whatever your religion, show the world what you stand for by your actions, rather than your doctrinal statement locked away in a vault someplace that even your scholars can't fully agree upon. That didn't sound very pleasant, sorry. Just get out and do some good today. Hey, invite a friend to join these discussions. I can't wait for our next discussions, continuing on the big 3 Abrahamic religions, their similarities and their differences. Have a great week. Peace.